Good morning class. This is for ECE 4th semester. Today I am going to deliver my lecture Properties of DFT in continuation to our last lecture, that is Properties of DFT. We have studied 9 properties of DFT. Today we will do last 2 properties, that is first one is time reversal of sequence and second one is multiplication of 2 sequence. First is time reversal of sequence. It states that if x of n DFT is x of k, then x of minus n is equal to x of n minus n. Its DFT is equal to x of minus k equal to x of n minus k, that is capital N. This is the time reversal property of DFT. Next one, last property is multiplication of 2 sequence. In this it states that if x1 and DFT is x1k and x2 and DFT is x2k, then according to multiplication of 2 sequence, the multiplication of 2 sequence, its DFT is equal to 1 over n x1k circular convolution x2k. It is opposite of circular convolution. In circular convolution, the DFT of circular convolution of 2 sequence is equal to multiplication of their DFTs. Therefore, the multiplication of 2 sequence in time domain is equivalent to its circular convolution in frequency domain. It is all about the properties of DFT. Now we will do some numericals related to properties of DFT. First question is DFT of a sequence x of n is given by x of k, that is equal to 4 1 plus 2j j 1 minus 3j. X of k contains 4 samples, so it is a 4-point DFT. Using DFT property, only find DFT of x conjugate n if x conjugate n is complex conjugate of x of n. Now, according to complex conjugate property, if x of n DFT is x of k, then x conjugate n DFT is x conjugate minus k, that is n point DFT. Now, in the question given x of k is given, we have x of k is equal to 4 1 plus 2j j 1 minus 3j, 4 samples. So x of k, conjugate of x of k is equal to 4 1 minus 2j, because 2j is imaginary term, so it is positive. Now conjugate means it's equal to negative 1 minus 2j, j conjugate as minus j, 1 minus 3j conjugate as 1 plus 3j. Then but DFT of x conjugate n is x conjugate minus k, that is circular folding. This one is circular folding of x conjugate k. That means sequence x conjugate minus k is obtained by plotting the samples of x conjugate k in clockwise direction. So first we have to draw x conjugate k. X conjugate k is 4 1 minus 2j minus j 1 plus 3j by using the graphical representation of a sequence. Graphical representation means first sequence starting position is this 4, then plot all the sequence in anti-clockwise direction 4, then 1 minus 2j minus j 1 plus 3j. That is a graph or of plot of x conjugate k. Now we have to find out x conjugate minus k from this. X conjugate minus k means time folding or time reversal of this x conjugate k, or we can say circular folding of x conjugate k. Folding means plot the sequences in clockwise direction, but starting position remains same, that is 4, then 1 minus 2j minus j 1 plus 3j. That is the x conjugate minus k. Now it is 4. By to write down the sequence, this is x conjugate minus k as 4, 1 plus 3j minus j, 1 minus 2j. Therefore x conjugate minus k is equal to 4, 1 plus 3j minus j, 1 minus 2j. That is the folding, circular folding of x conjugate k. Now next question is related to Parseval theorem. Question is verify Parseval theorem for sequence x of n is equal to 1 by 2 raised to power n u of n. Now according to Parseval theorem, summation n tends to 0 to n minus 1, absolute value of xn whole square is equal to 1 by n, summation k tends to 0 to n minus 1, absolute value of x of k whole square. That is equation number 1. Now first we have to solve this left hand side, then right hand side. First step is consider value of consider the n point DFT. Let us assume n is 4. So we assume in this question n is 4. N is 4 means 0 to 3 point. That means n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. Therefore n is 0 to 3. That means you have to find out the sequence x of n from 0 to 3. Therefore sequence x of n is generated as follows. First put n is equal to 0. X of 0 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to power 0, that is equal to 1. Then put n is equal to 1. X of 1 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to power 1, that is 1 by 2. Then put n is equal to 2. X of 2 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to power 2, that is equal to 1 by 4. Then put n is equal to 3. X of 3 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to power 3, that is 1 by 8. Therefore x of n sequence is 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8. That is 4 sequence. Now step 2 is left hand side of equation 1, that is summation n tends to 0 to n minus 1, absolute value of xn whole square. But the range of n is 0 to 3. Therefore it becomes summation n tends to 0 to 3, absolute value of xn whole square. Now expand this summation by putting n is equal to 0 to 3. First has mod x of 0 square plus x of 1, absolute value of x1 square, plus absolute value of x2 whole square, plus absolute value of x of 3 whole square. X of 0 is 1, 1 square is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1 by 2, 1 by 2 whole square. X of 2 is 1 by 4, 1 by 4 whole square. And x of 3 is 1 by 8, 1 by 8 whole square. It becomes 1 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 16 plus 1 by 64. By doing the calculations, it becomes 84 by 64. That is equal to 1.328125. That is equation number 2. Now consider right hand side of equation 1, that is 1 by n summation k tends to 0 to n minus 1, absolute value of x of k whole square. So it becomes 1 by 4, summation k tends to 0 to 3, absolute value of x of k whole square. First we will calculate DFT x of k using DFT as linear transformation matrix, means in matrix form. So x of n in matrix form for 4 points, 4 sequence or 4 samples is x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3. That is the value of twiddle factor already discussed in our previous lectures. That is x of an input sequence 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8. Now solve this matrix by using element by element multiplication of each row and column. First is 1 into 1, 1 into 1 by 2, 1 into 1 by 4, 1 into 1 by 8. Rest all rows multiplied with this column. Then it becomes 15 by 8, 3 by 4 minus 3 by 8j, 5 by 8, 3 by 4 plus 3 by 8j, that is equal to 1.875. 0.75 minus j 0.375, 0.625, 0.75 plus j 0.375. Therefore, the DFT is 1.875, 0.75 minus j 0.375, 0.625, 0.75 plus j 0.375. Now we will calculate absolute value of x of k. Absolute value of x of k is first, as this is only real term, so its absolute value is 1.875. but second is real and imaginary term. Second sequence contains both real and imaginary terms, so its absolute value is square root of first value whole square plus second value whole square, that is equal to 0.838525. so second sequence absolute value is 0.838525. then its absolute value is again 0.625. its absolute value is 0.838525. Therefore, it becomes 1 by 4 summation k tends to 0 to 3 absolute value x of k whole square. Expand this summation, it becomes 1 by 4 bracket absolute value of x of 0 whole square plus absolute value of x1 whole square plus absolute value x of 2 whole square plus absolute value x of 3 whole square. First, x of 0 we already find out, that is 1.875 whole square. X of 1 absolute value is 0.838525 whole square. X of 2 absolute value is 0.625 whole square, and absolute value of x of 3 is 0.838525 whole square. So by doing calculations, it becomes 5.31249835 whole divided by 4, that is equal to 1.388125. that is equation number 2. Now compare equation number 1 and equation number 2, both are same. Therefore, according to Parseval theorem, left hand side equal to right hand side. So Parseval theorem is verified. Now next topic is last topic of DFT, that is the relation between DFT and Z transform. This is second last topic. Now first is Z transform. We already have been studied about Z transform. The Z transform of sequence x of n is x of z is equal to summation n tends to minus infinity to infinity x of n z raised to power minus n, that is equation number 1. It is also called double-sided Z transform. We know that z is equal to e raised to power j omega. By putting z is equal to e raised to power j omega, x of z is equal to summation n tends to minus infinity to infinity x of n e raised to power minus j omega n. Equation number 2. It means that x of z is evaluated on unit circle. Unit circle means z is equal to 1. That means in ROC, ROC is entire z plane for greater than a circle whose radius is 1, and then ROC lies entire z plane except z equal to 1. Now suppose x of z is sampled at capital N. Capital N means n equally spaced points on the unit circle. Then we have omega is equal to 2 pi k by n. That is equation number 3. This is also discussed in the starting lecture of DFT, or we can also say in cyclic property of DFT or periodicity property of DFT. Now if x of z is evaluated at z is equal to e raised to power j omega k by n, then by putting equation number 3 in equation number 2, we get x of z is equal to summation n tends to minus infinity to infinity x of n e raised to power minus j 2 pi k n by n. At z is equal to e raised to power j 2 pi k by n. Equation number 4. Now in equation number 4, if x of n is causal sequence, this x of n is causal sequence. Causal means output depends on only present and past value of input. That means x of n is causal means has n number of samples. N number of samples means then we can write this equation or summation n tends to 0 to n minus 1. That means it's a causal sequence. It does not contain any negative value of n. Therefore, it becomes x of z is equal to summation n tends to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e raised to power minus j 2 pi k n over n. Equation number 5, at z is equal to e raised to power j 2 pi k by n. Now comparing equation number, before comparing, check this equation. What is this? This is the formula of x of k, summation n tends to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e raised to power minus j 2 pi k n over n, that is x of k. Therefore x of z is equal to x of k at z is equal to e raised to power j 2 pi k by n. Therefore z transform is equal to dft, but z is equal to e raised to power j 2 pi k by n. So this means if z transform is evaluated on the unit circle at equally spaced point only, then it becomes dft. So this is the relationship between dft and z transform. So in this lecture we covered two properties of DFT and some numericals on properties of DFT, and last is relation between DFT and Z transform. That's all. Thank you.